The divisional round of the NFL playoffs has wrapped up, and I'm going to be completely honest. It was pretty mid. It was pretty mid. But it is still playoff football, and it is obviously still important because it is setting up the conference championships. So, of course, we are still going to talk about it. This is my divisional round reactions, but I just had to let it be known that these games this week were pretty underwhelming. But yeah, let's just get started with probably the second best game this week, the Jaguars taking on the Chiefs. The Chiefs obviously won this game, but I will say it was very interesting. Because the game was close, but it didn't feel close, but then again it did feel close, if that makes sense to you. What I'm pretty much trying to say is the game was almost always a one-score game or maybe a low two-score game, but it just didn't feel like that because the Chiefs this game just always had a step ahead over the Jaguars. It just felt like that. As much as you wanted to buy into the Jaguars and think they could really win this game, you really couldn't because you knew in the back of your head the Chiefs are going to win. At least that's how I went through this game. And that's what the Chiefs did this game. They found a way. When the Jaguars were actually posing a threat to the Chiefs, looking like they were about to score, the Chiefs defense came up huge. Only allowing 20 points this game, and they came up with some of the biggest plays of the game that pretty much won them the game. The Jamal Agnew fumble was astronomically huge. When the Jaguars were down to pretty much their last chance and they were trying to make their drive down the field, they picked Trevor Lawrence off. I believe Jalen Watson was the one who caught the pick, and yeah, that pretty much secured the game for the Chiefs. So yeah, Chiefs defense, I know I hate on them a lot, call them fraudulent, say they can be exposed. I do still believe that, but I've got to admit, they played very well this game. And offensively, the Chiefs obviously got it done. Now, I wouldn't say it was some sort of masterclass, but it was still a pretty good performance. Especially from guys like Isaiah Pacheco and Travis Kelce. Let's talk about Isaiah Pacheco first. He had almost 100 rushing yards this game. Had that one big run that we all probably know about. And Travis Kelce, oh my gosh. 14 receptions, almost 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yes, you could say, was it really that impressive because he was kind of being spoon-fed? But I don't care. If you're getting the ball 14 times a game as a tight end or a receiver, you're doing something right. But the main story of this game is obviously Patrick Mahomes, who played this game on pretty much one leg. I don't want to sound like Chris Collinsworth or anything, but Patrick Mahomes' stat line on paper definitely doesn't look amazing. He had less than 200 passing yards, only 2 passing touchdowns. I know that's crazy to say, but it's Patrick Mahomes we're talking about. But he still played a very good game. And he was on one leg. This man might not be human. Daddy Mahomes, King Patrick, whatever you want to call him, this man is him. But an unsung hero for the Chiefs this game was Harrison Butker. He made 2 huge kicks for them in this game, and he also tackled Jamal Agnew on what was about to be a kick return touchdown. Also forgot to mention Chad Henne somehow, because when Mahomes was out for like a few drives or something like that, Chad Henne came in there, he completed 5 out of 7 passes, and he threw a touchdown to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He got the job done filling in for Mahomes, but Mahomes is like, nah, I got to get back in there. This is my team. I got to be there. To simplify this game, the Chiefs just simply wanted it more. That's all it is. Jaguars almost had it, though. They almost had it, but they beat themselves. I don't want to hear no Jags versus refs, nothing like that. The Jaguars beat themselves. Trevor Lawrence threw a horrible pass, and Jamal Agnew fumbled. Those things don't happen, who knows? The Jaguars could be in the AFC Championship right now. Also, if they just could have simply stopped a one-legged Mahomes. Chiefs advance to host the AFC Championship in Arrowhead. Cool, we all knew this was happening. Let's go Bengals. Then we got something that we do not really need to spend much time on. The Giants versus the Eagles. And to call this game a domination would be an understatement. Because this was more than just a domination. This was an obliterating of another team, a brutalization, an abusing of the New York Football Giants. What can I say? Anything the Eagles wanted to do this game, they did it. Their defense absolutely bottled up the Giants on offense. They could not get anything going as they only scored 7 points this game. And on offense, like I said, whatever they wanted to do, they did it. Jalen Hurts didn't have the most impressive game, but that's because he had no reason to pass the ball. He only finished with 150 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, but the Eagles' offense had almost 300 total rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. They killed the Giants. They killed them. I mean, what can I say? And I seriously regret being high on the Giants. Now, because I'm not extremely dumb, I did say the Eagles are still going to win this game, but I had faith in the Giants. I saw a world where the Giants could pull off the upset. Well, this was nowhere close to that. They got embarrassed on national television, and the Eagles, oh my gosh, those birds are looking really scary right now. Then we get into another extremely underwhelming game. If you've been watching my videos for the past week and a half, I would say, you would know that I have been hyping up this game to be like an all-time classic because that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a crazy, intense, down-to-the-wire type game, and it was just the complete opposite of that. This game can kind of be described the same way you could describe the Eagles-Giants game, but just to a much lesser scale. The Bengals just controlled this entire game through their red-hot fire offense. The Bengals' offense started the game off hot, and they never really cooled down. January Joe was in full effect. Yes, that's what I'm calling him. That's my nickname for him, January Joe. Joe Mixon played great this game too, had over 100 rushing yards and a touchdown. Jamar Chase played solid, and Hayden Hurst played great. And they obviously got their contributions from everybody else on their offense too. And I've got to say, the Bengals' offensive line performance this game was impressive, especially when you consider that they were missing 3 starters. This was pretty much an offensive line full of backups, and they still managed to play absolutely great and protect Joe Burrow with everything they could. And their defense also just had an amazing performance, only allowing the Bills to score 10 points. They picked off Josh Allen, made the run game pretty much non-existent, and were pressuring Josh Allen the entire game. The Bills' offensive line was not holding up at all. This Bengals defense played amazing. This Bengals team played amazing. Everybody did something for the Bengals. Everybody did good for the Bengals. Everything went right for the Bengals, and everything went wrong for the Bills. I mean, for a team like the Bills to be as hyped up as they were by so many football fans, including me, I've been saying this entire season, I thought the Bills were going to win the Super Bowl. For them to go out and play like this, that's embarrassing, that's disappointing. It makes sense when a team like the Giants or the Jaguars play like this, but honestly, I would say the Jaguars played better than the Bills this week. So with me saying that, the Bills were the second to last worst team in the NFL this week. I worded that wrong, I know. You know what I mean. The Bills absolutely sucked out there. Couldn't get it done. Disappointed everybody, especially their fans. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine being a Bills fan right now. Yeah, the Bills might be a cursed franchise when you think about it, but let's go Bungles. Then we move on to what was probably the best game this entire weekend. Not the best game in a sense of being, high-scoring, thrilling, but it was just a close and competitive game, and we didn't really get much of that this weekend. And this game was, of course, the Cowboys versus the 49ers. Now, I have absolutely no idea how in the world this game was so close, because the Cowboys' offense was genuinely hard to watch this game. But I guess their defense did play great, so it was able to keep them in the game for as long as the entire game. Earlier in the game, though, they just tried to run the ball a lot, which made no sense considering what they did last week, which was pass the ball a lot, and they absolutely torched Tampa Bay's defense. Now, I know the 49ers defense is a lot different than the Bucs defense, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. Keep doing it until it's not working. I don't understand. They were coming off such a hot game with their entire passing offense, and they just decided, oh, you know what, let's run the ball. Then when they decided to pass the ball, Dak Prescott was not out there cooking. So I guess you can't really blame them for not passing the ball as much as they should have, because Dak Prescott did not play good this game. I don't like hating on Dak. I genuinely believe he's a really good quarterback, but he's just got to get better at his decision-making. That cost the Cowboys this game. Oh, also, they lost Tony Pollard late in the second quarter or earlier in the third quarter due to a pretty bad-looking ankle injury. The Cowboys just had a pretty dysfunctional offense other than their one touchdown drive, but the rest of the game, I'm telling you, it was hard to watch. But at least their defense was able to keep them in the game. So let's talk about the Cowboys' defense against the 49ers offense. The 49ers offense also struggled a lot this game. Not as much as the Cowboys. I do believe the 49ers got 2 touchdowns. Never mind, they only got 1. But at least the 49ers offense was able to put them in positions where they could at least get field goals. Robbie Gould, the 49ers kicker, had a really big game here because of that. But yeah, I don't think there's much to say about the 49ers on the offensive side. Yeah, they struggled. The Cowboys defense played absolutely great. But they still got it done at the end of the day. They were still able to manage the game. And it just came down to the Cowboys not being able to get it done. It came to the last play, just like last year. Last year, it was a comical ending against the 49ers in the wild card round. Dak Prescott decides to run the ball with no timeouts left. Cowboys can't get the ball snapped in time. Hilarious ending. This game was pretty much like that too, because Kellen Moore drew up the worst play ever. He decided to have Zeke snap the ball. Zeke proceeded to get absolutely flattened. Then they throw it to KaVontae Turpin, and KaVontae Turpin gets absolutely laid out too. That sequence was just very funny, thinking, oh, what are the Cowboys drawing up? They're really trying to get the 49ers fooled here. That was far from what they did. It was a hilarious ending to this game. But yeah, the Cowboys lost. It was indeed not their year. They are not them boys. And Big Cock Brock Purdy gets to ride into the third round, the NFC Championship against the Eagles. Can he get it done? Can he get it done? Oh, I also forgot to mention, George Kittle made huge plays for the 49ers this game, especially late in the game. And he had that one crazy catch where he bobbled it like 3 times and still was able to reel it in while Trayvon Diggs was about to hit stick him. Crazy play. But yeah, George Kittle played great too. And yeah, that's that game. Definitely the best of the weekend in my opinion, just because it was close. But overall, this week of playoff football was not that great, especially when you compare it to the previous week that we just got with the wild card week. But nonetheless, it's still football, and we still got extremely interesting things to look forward to this weekend. That's all I gotta say. This was my divisional round reactions. Peace.